Don't collect bribes from Tinubu's government ahead of Nnamdi Kanu's ruling, U.S. lawyer Bruce Fein writes Supreme Court. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post our juicy news update, please click on the notification bell. The Supreme Court will on December 15th rule on Nnamdi Kanu's case against the Nigerian government concerning his illegal arrest and detention at the Department of State Services, DSS. Breastfeeding the International Council to Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has written to the Nigerian Supreme Court to reject bribes from President Bola Tinubu's camp and not compromise the ruling of a court on the case brought by Kanu. The Supreme Court will on December 15th rule on Nnamdi Kanu's case against the Nigerian government concerning his illegal arrest and detention at the Department of State Services, DSS. Fein in the letter he wrote in from Washington, D.C. on Saturday and obtained by Sahara reporters said the Supreme Court must not be intimidated or bribed by President Bola Tinubu, adding that his presidency is already on life support because of credible evidence of diploma fraud or drug trafficking in the United States. The U.S. Counsel to Kanu'S added that the Supreme Court would become a model for other African courts by giving life to judicial independence if it rules impartially on Kanu and refuses to do the bidding of the Nigerian government. Fein said, Honorable Justices, December 15, 2023 will be a day in Nigeria that will be live in judicial glory or infamy. The decision is in your hands. You have set aside that day to render judgment on the legality of Nnamdi Kanu's prosecution by the federal government of Nigeria. Everyone knows the Nigerian government ulterior motive to punish Mr. Kanu for exercising his constitutionally protected free speech right to urge self-determination for Biafrans through peaceful avenues of redress. This court should not be blind to what all the world can see. Indeed, a Nigerian High Court sitting in Enugu recently held the government outlawing indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, headed by Mr. Kanu, for advocating self-determination was unconstitutional. Further, on July 20, 2022, the Working Group of Arbitrary Detention of the United Nations Human Rights Council found that Nnamdi Kanu's solitary confinement since June 2021 violated 16 international human rights covenants binding on Nigeria and ordered his immediate and unconditional release and reparations. The Nigerian government has lawlessly ignored the working group decision for over a year. The Nigerian government did not deny that it has conspired with Kenya to have Mr. Kanu kidnapped and tortured in Nairobi, is subject to extraordinary rendition to Abuja in June 2021 and committed multiple crimes against his person. These crimes followed an attempted Nigerian government assassination of Mr. Kanu on September 13, 2017, which was legally condemned by the High Court of Abia State on January 19, 2022. A cornerstone principle of law stemming back many centuries is that crime should not pay. To rule against Nnamdi Kanu would permit the Nigerian government to profit from its own crimes and embolden more of the same. Under international law and practice, Biafrans have been denied the right to self-determination through a free and fair independence referendum arranged and conducted by a neutral international body as the South Sudanese enjoyed in 2011. This norm of international law is not reserved for Africa only. The United Kingdom offered Scotland a self-determination vote in 2013. Canada offered Quebec a self-determination vote in 1995. In both cases, independence failed because the United Kingdom and Canada treated all their citizens even-handedly and under the rule of law. Nnamdi Kanu is seeking to undo the wickedness and avarice of British colonization in Nigeria. Amalgamation of distant people, including Biafrans, Yoruba, and Hausa Fulani, was compelled by British machine guns in 1914. Nigerians' boundaries were illegal at birth, born of the cynical chant, "Whatever happens, we have got the Maxim gun, and they have not." Not a single African had a stay in the Nigerian boundaries, which endure today as a legacy of British lawlessness and a colonial policy of divide and conquer. Nigeria has been a chronically convulsed artificial state since independence in 1960. Legal and moral responsibility lies with the United Kingdom. To support Nnamdi Kanu is to expel the cruel, unlawful remnant of British colonialism in Nigeria. The British stole sovereignty from each distinct people of Nigeria by abandoning the international law obligation to offer each independence referendum. We're inspired by the Pakistani Supreme Court bullied by military dictator Pervez Musharraf in 2009, the Supreme Court held the dictator's emergency rule was unconstitutional. A decade later, a special court found Musharraf guilty of treason for suspending the constitution and sentenced him to death. Pakistani lawyers applauded both decisions as landmarks in the rule of law. Do not be intimidated or bribed by President Bola Tinubu. For suspending the constitution and sentenced him to death, Pakistan lawyers applauded both decisions as landmarks in the rule of law. Do not be intimidated or bribed by President Bola Tinubu. His presidency is already on life support because of the credible evidence of diploma fraud or drug trafficking in the United States. The decision in favor of Nnamdi Kanu will be overwhelmingly applauded by Nigerian lawyers, a high watermark in the rule of law and the independence of the judiciary. The court would become an instant candidate for the Nobel Peace Prize. Nigeria's upheavals would begin to abate. Additionally, we would become a model for other African courts by giving life to judicial independence, the secret of domestic tranquility. Make December 15 the finest hour of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. All eyes will be upon you with deepest respect, Bruce Fane. Wetin this man talk no be lie, sha, but at least it's not a lie. So let us wait till December 15, hoping that the Nigerian court, just like he asked them not to accept bribe, even though it's a thing of shame that you don't be see outside people don't know, see what they do. Let us hope and see how everything unfolds. Alright, on this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.